Namaste children. Today I am going to start the part 3 of the chapter Parties and Party System in India. In the second part, I have explained you about the dominance of Congress party in first 3 general elections. Now in this part, first we will analyze who will become the Prime Minister of India after the death of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in 1964. Then we will analyze about the 4th general election 1967. Why the year 1967 is considered a landmark year in India's political electoral politics. Then we will discuss about the downfall of the Congress party. So let's begin. First we will take the topic that is challenges of political succession. Why?
The early hours of Wednesday, May the 27th, he was again taken ill, this time seriously. A few moments before 2 o'clock, Jawaharlal Nehru breathed his last.
हिंदुस्तान के पहले प्रधानमंत्री जवाहरलाल नेहरू के देहांत के बाद एक पूरे युग का अंत हो गया। और फिर सवाल उठा, नेहरू के बाद कौन? और अगर इस सवाल का सही जवाब नहीं मिलता, इसका सही फैसला नहीं होता, तो एक पूरे देश का सपना, एक एकजुट हिंदुस्तान का सपना टूट सकता था, बिखर सकता था। तो एक बहुत अहम सवाल था, नेहरू के बाद कौन? Who after नेहरू? जवाहरलाल नेहरू के देहांत के सिर्फ 2 घंटे बाद कांग्रेस के एक बड़े माने हुए पुराने नेता गुलजारीलाल नंदा को केयर टेकर प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना दिया गया। ये टेम्पररी अरेंजमेंट था, क्योंकि एक सरकार बिना प्रमुख के हो ही नहीं सकती। लेकिन नेहरू के बाद कौन? उनका असली उत्तराधिकारी कौन था? इस सवाल का जवाब शायद सिर्फ एक आदमी दे सकता था, के कामराज।
कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष के कामराज उस वक्त देश भर में जाने जाते थे, क्योंकि 1 साल पहले कामराज ने वो किया था जिसके बारे में आज सोचना भी मुश्किल है। कामराज ने खुद ही मद्रास राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री पद से इस्तीफा दिया था और उनके इस्तीफे के बाद 6 केंद्रीय मंत्री और कई राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्रियों को कुर्सी छोड़कर पार्टी में काम करना पड़ा था। पद छोड़कर पार्टी में काम करने की इस योजना को ही कामराज प्लान कहा जाता है। 27 मई 1964 को कामराज के सामने कांग्रेस पार्टी के अंदर से एक ऐसे व्यक्ति को चुनने की चुनौती थी जिसे सब अपना नेता मान ले।
Fine. So as earlier I told you, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru died in 1964. Then question arise, now who will become the Prime Minister? So K. Kamaraj, the President of Congress Party, he consulted party leaders and Congress members of Parliament, found that there was a consensus in the favor of Lal Bahadur Shastri. As you all know, Lal Bahadur Shastri was famous for his honesty and the integrity of the Indian politics. Now we will see when he became the Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, when he became Prime Minister of India, he faced many challenges during his Prime Ministership. And the 1960s period was labeled the decade of the dangerous decade. Is it clear? So there were many reasons for this, why this period is labeled as the dangerous decade, 1960s period. First we see here, due to multiple unresolved problems like poverty was there at that time, inequality, communal and regional divisions, etc. These could lead in a failure of the democratic project or even the disintegration of the country also that time. And second we see the problem was 2 wars during this period. First India's war with China in 1962 and then 1965 India and Pakistan war. This was also the problem that time. And then Lal Bahadur Shastri, this is also the problem that time we see. He suddenly expired in 1966 in Tashkent, then in USSR, and currently the capital of Uzbekistan. After his death, now again question arises, who will become the next Prime Minister of India? So here we now see the from Shastri to Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi, how, in which circumstances she became the Prime Minister of India, and who supported Indira Gandhi for becoming the Prime Minister of India after the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri. So this time competition was between the main two leaders. One senior leader in Congress party was the Morarji Desai, and inexperienced leader of Indira Gandhi. As you all know, Indira Gandhi, she was the daughter of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1966, through a secret ballot among Congress MPs, Indira Gandhi defeated the Morarji Desai by securing the support of more than 2/3 of the party's MPs. Here important thing is there, those who were senior leaders in the Congress party, and they were known as the syndicates, they supported her in the belief that her administrative and political inexperience will compel her to be dependent on them for the support and the guidance, because she was inexperienced as compared to the Morarji Desai. But within a year of becoming Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi had to lead the party in the Lok Sabha election, and around this time, the economic situations of the country had further worsened, and this added to her problems. So here, now we will discuss in this situation, the 1967 4th general election. So the year 1967 is considered a landmark year in India's political electoral history. Between 1965 to 1967, there were multiple problems in India. What were the problems? The main problems were economic crisis, such as failure of monsoon, drought, decline in the agricultural production, serious food shortage, etc. People were facing all these problems. So after becoming Prime Minister in 1966, Indira Gandhi government surrounded all these problems, and people started protest against food scarcity and the unemployment also. And then Bandhs, Hartal, all frequently across the country. And the Communist Party and the Socialist Party also started protest against all these problems. Fine. So here we see Indira Gandhi faced many problems in the period of 1966, and then 4th general election conducted in India. So students, we see due to these economic crises, opposition parties were in the forefront of organizing public protests and pursuing the government also. And the parties opposed to the government realized that the division of their votes kept the Congress in power. So these parties, who were different in ideologies and program, they came together and they formed anti-Congress front and entered into the electoral adjustment and sharing seats also. Here we see the socialist leader, the name of the socialist leader, Ram Manohar Lohia. He gave this strategy the name of non-Congressism, where all opposition parties came together. They belong to different ideologies and programs, but they came together and formed a anti-Congress front. And then in this context, 4 general elections to the Lok Sabha and assembly elections also were held in February 1967, and the Congress was facing the electorate for the first time without Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And electoral verdict of 1967, or you can say the result of this 1967 elections, were known as the political earthquake. So now question arises, this is your 2-marker question, why this period is known as, or the result, you can say, result of this election is known as political earthquake. So here we will discuss about the reason of this political earthquake, about the result of 1967 election. The result jolted the Congress at both national and the state levels, and so many contemporary political observers, this is important line, many contemporary political observers described the election result as a political earthquake. And Congress managed to get a majority in Lok Sabha, but with the lowest tally of seats and share of votes since 1952. As you know, in 1952, Congress got majority of 3/4 seats. Okay, and half of the ministers of Indira Gandhi's cabinet were defeated. They were very senior leader in the Congress party, but they defeated in these elections. and including you can say K. Kamaraj in Tamil Nadu, S. K. Patil in Maharashtra, Atulya Ghosh in West Bengal, and K. B. Sahai in Bihar. They defeated. And if we will talk about the result of the state assembly, then we see in state Congress lost majority in 7 states, and in 2 other state defection prevented Congress from forming a government. And in these 9 states, if we will talk about these 9 states were Punjab, Haryana, UP, MP, Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha, Madras and Kerala. These were the 9 states. And in other states, the coalition government, this was the feature of this result of this election. Coalition governments consisted of ideologically diverse groups. These were called Samyukt Vidhayak Dal governments. So here we will discuss about the coalition governments at that time. In Bihar, SSP and PSB along with CPI on the left and Jan Sangh on the right came together to form the government. And in Punjab, if you will see, it was called Popular United Front and comprising 2 rival Akali parties, Sant groups and the master groups, with both the Communist Party CPI and CPI-M. And along with, you can say, the SSP and the Republican Party and the Bharatiya Janata came together to form the government. So here we see the emergence of coalition, and no single party at that time had got majority in the elections. One more, if we will talk about the feature of the result of this 1967 election, we see defection. As earlier in 10th class, you have already studied about the meaning of defection. Here once again I will explain you the meaning of defection. So defection means an elected representative leaves party on whose symbol he or she was elected and joined the another party. So here we will see the example of Gailal. He was an MLA in Haryana in 1967. He changed his party thrice in a fortnight, from Congress to United Front, back to Congress, and then within 9 hours he rejoined the United Front. So here in this topic, elections result of 1967, we see coalition and defection was seen in these elections. So this is all about the part 3. In the next part, we will discuss about the split up in Congress Party in 1969 and the midterm election of 1971. Thank you.